didn't get anything like that.
This one I got.
Yeah. Fetching video. All right, we're live here. And then we'll sign into Blog Talk. Oh my God, look. Whew.
I know, I love
Hot
it.
one at the beach today here, people. I'm telling you.
So hot.
Oof.
I tell you, it's
Yeah,
summertime.
we just,
Yeah.
you know, got a little bit of breeze going on over here, so. All right.
It is fantastic.
We should be all on.
I don't know what I do with my flip-flops. Took off your flip-flops?
I should be able to sign in now. She didn't say if she was off the board or not.
No, she didn't. We got nothing yet as far as that goes.
Oh, look, the Rift Network is live.
Oh, really? Could that perhaps be us? Is that us?
Yeah.
It's us. We're live.
All right. So right now I'm trying to, well, I should probably get on this board. Oh, his number. His number's right.
All over the place.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
Which is great.
I know.
And I cannot switch over to my account.
It's okay. Hold on. All right. Did I accidentally just boot her off, or?
Well, we're very sorry about that if we did. We
Hopefully I
didn't mean to.
Usually she's off by now. What the hell? Oh. Oops.
Oh my god, I'm throwing pink balls at
Okay, it's time to do this. Alright, so hold on. Let me do this, and then this is just the beginning of us getting going, so you'll have to go to the Rift Live video. So
I'm like frozen here. There's one of like cooperations here.
yeah,
Let's
I
see.
know.
The weather's been weird too, so.
Okay, hold on.
There's no sunshine when you're gone.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key.
To start your show now, press 1. To hear important...
Your show is scheduled to start in 6 minutes, 40 seconds.
Yay.
Alright, Marcy, you can call in anytime now, hon, if you see us.
I'm so excited. I'm going to try sharing to her right now.
Okay, oh, that is our guest. Hold on.
Ooh, already.
We have him.
So excited.
Michael.
Hello.
Hi,
hon.
Michael.
It is. It,
Well, yeah.
hello.
You've talked to me, it's Sue. We have Michelle.
Hi, how are you?
6 minutes until showtime.
Yeah, we got about 6 minutes till
Hi, Mich-
showtime, so that's, sorry, Michelle, say hi.
Hi, how are you doing? I'm so excited to finally talk to you.
I'm doing good. Well, I'm excited about everything.
That kind of sounds like
for
me on most days, too. I can't get excited about the strangest things sometimes.
We also have a friend of ours actually coming in, Marcy Kosic. Blah, blah, blah.
Kosic.
Thank you, Kosic.
Kosic.
Yep, she's in multidimensional tone healer. And when I was reading some of your book, I just thought it was a perfect fit. We usually pull her on once a month. She's a sweetheart. You'll like her.
Yeah, she's like one of our like part-time co-hosts. She's great.
Part-time co-host, regulars, you know.
You know, one of
She's
those
a
things.
sweetheart.
Okay.
She does it all, Michael.
Yeah, when I was reading your book, it's just everything in it reminded me so much of Marcy. To me, Marcy is the proof of what you've written.
5 minutes until
So I just
showtime.
thought that was really cool. We're just waiting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I have a pad in front of me to take notes, and you know, however you want to do the show, I'll just follow you.
Well, you'll just fall right into place. Michelle gets very silly.
Oh, yes.
So
very much.
sometimes I have to rein her in.
I
but
try
it-
to behave. I try.
No, we do have a lot of fun, and we also do get the information out there to other people. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on hold right now until we start the show.
Yes.
Just have to play the intros
No-
and
no
everything
problem.
else. So
Marcy's
this way,
in.
She's in.
She's in chat already. I'm going to
Okay.
ask her to call in.
All right, Marcy should be calling in soon. So I'm just going to put you in hold, and then we're going to get going
4
on this.
minutes
But we
until
literally
showtime.
we have tons of notes here. All right, so I'll talk to you in a bit. So hold on, okay, hon?
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. She calling in?
I'm telling her that right now. She's in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, there you are. Okay. Oh, number
Yep. It is
323.
323.
8703877.
3 minutes until showtime.
All right. So
Thanks, Eric Mitchell. He joined in our chat. Thank you so much for taking our invite.
oh, hi, hon. All right, sweetie. Okay, intro. Here we go. All right, just waiting for Marcy. We got about 2 minutes and 46 seconds to showtime. So, with definitely an amazing guest, an absolutely wonderful book.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this explains so much. I'm just trying to get that out of the way. Get that over there. What is that?
We're such
Okay.
on a beautiful beach here with such a gorgeous
I
rainbow.
know that the wind is blowing in her hair and
Oh, I
everything.
absolutely love it. Oh, I swear, I would have worn my bikini. Darn it! Well, I would have scared people away if I did that, but you know, I'm European. We do weird things like that.
2 minutes until showtime.
Marcy calling in.
I told her she could, and I gave her the number. So she should be calling in shortly.
Okay. All right, we got about a minute. Okay, I'm going to silence us now, too. Okay. Hello? All this for one show. Wow.
It's like a month's
And
worth of
two
a show.
books.
It's
Two books.
fantastic, though.
Yeah, I know. It's like, wow.
1 minute
1
until
minute.
showtime.
Sorry. All right, we'll put this under there. Try to make this easier for you. There we go. Put this over here.
Sharing
over
events
there.
on my timeline.
Okay. All right. Oh, that must be Marcy.
Yes.
Where?
Good question. That
Okay.
one, I think.
Just Marcy, hold on a minute, honey. Just tell her we'll put her in right after the intros.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Rift Method, which shows 7 days a week from 8 o'clock p.m. to 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The shows such as The Orion Cast, Road Talk Radio, The Hollywood Connection, Just Sort of Crazy, Knowledge from Behind the Veil, Nightmares Radio, Awakening the Unknown, The Black Sucker, and the cooperative show Night Visions. And now for your featured show. Welcome to a new episode of Awakening the Unknown. Hosts Susan Swanberg, Michelle Sullivan. Stay tuned for a haunted good time.
Well, hello there, everybody, and how are you doing out there this fine and fantastic Thursday night? I absolutely love Thursdays.
Me too. Look at us. We are just enjoying ourselves. Hello, everyone.
You have no idea.
Oh, my
We've been
goodness.
so excited because, as you know, every book that I read, every guest that actually has a book, I read them all.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Voraciously. Like.
Yes, it's amazing. So first thing we're going to do before we pull the author on, I'm
Okay.
Susan, and we have
I'm Michelle.
we're going to pull on Marcy Kochik, who she's going to be our guest co-host, and then we're going to get over to the
Marcy.
author. So let's find out how Marcy is doing. Our partner in crime.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Marcy, how you doing, honey?
Hi, Marcy.
Oh, I'm doing good. I've got to turn you guys off the computer because there's a book stereo on the computer and on my phone, so it's all good. On the phone.
You got us in
Okay.
like double vision going on.
Yeah,
there.
I know. You know, when I was reading this book, I was up to, I think it was it might have been chapter 2, because I actually read the whole book, and I've already given a review for the book on Amazon, by the way.
Oh,
What a
absolutely.
fantastic
Next.
book. So the book that we're actually discussing.
Discussing?
Yeah, I'm not used to flying this high either, so
Woo,
we'll get
it's
to
the-
that too.
It's the beautiful wind and the sun and the rainbows. You know?
Yeah, the book that we're talking about is Mastering the Human Experience. It's your soul's journey on Earth. And the book was written by Michael Bradford, or Michael Edward Bradford, who we're
Yes.
going to pull on right now. We're going to get to it. But this book, when I was reading it, I'm like, oh my God, Marcy is an interdimensional tone healer. And when I'm reading the book, I'm saying, wow, she could be in her mastering lifetime.
I know.
said,
We're like, oh my God, Marcy
this is
would
like
love this. Marcy
a
would love
perfect
this.
fit for the book. So,
Yes.
so we're going to pull Michael
I
on
tried
right now.
matchmaking the two of them, but I don't know if that's going to work.
Yeah,
you
well,
know. We got to
funny.
find out if Michael's single.
Behave.
first. Michael, you single?
Hold on, give him a minute. How you doing, Michael?
Yes, I am.
Ooh, he's single.
Told you. Sometimes I have trouble reining this one in.
Marcy's single. He's single.
I shouldn't say I'm single. I should say I'm available.
Oh, I like that. He's available. Marcy. He's got some cute stuff you got to check out on YouTube
Hi,
of him.
Michael. You gotta.
How you doing?
These two are very mischievous and playful, so they speak them quite openly. But I'm glad I got to meet you, or at least talk with you.
Well, let's put it this way. This is just the start of the show. Already my cheeks are hurting from smiling so big.
Awesome.
It's already gone.
Well, you know, Michael, Marcy, I don't know whether or not you heard us as you were waiting to come on, but Marcy is an interdimensional tone healer is what
Yes.
she is.
Yes.
She is very good at what
Okay.
she does.
Well,
We've been
And
working.
I also
Go ahead.
channel the masters. I do energy work. I'm a medic intuitive. I'm clairvoyant. I'm clairaudient, clairsentient. You may want to check out my book. It's called We're All Three Wizards. It's a trilogy, my autobiography of my friends and I and our journeys.
Hint,
Growing up in an
hint. You guys got a lot in common.
area where
So when I was reading the
we
book,
learn
I
about
hate to
the
interrupt
telepathy,
you two
and
guys.
It's been a powerful journey.
Well, I hate to
good.
interrupt you two guys,
Really
but
well, that stuff.
I told you they click right away.
I know. This is when I was reading the book. I was into chapter. I think it was chapter 2. As you started, it was either chapter 2 or chapter 3. I have to look at my notes, but I literally devoured this book in 2 days.
Yeah.
I mean, I read every night.
It was like when we got Marcy's books and I
Yeah.
read them all. Like it didn't sleep for 3 days. Just read every single one. You know, it's like the same thing.
But as I was reading it and you were talking about the soul's purpose in different lifetimes, and I'm saying to myself, wow, Marcy has to be in a mastering lifetime. But we're going to
Absolutely.
actually start from the beginning over here. We have
I have been a
so
master
many
in
notes.
other lifetimes, and I think I told you guys it's like we did. Suzanne in Washington did a drawing of me as Bathsheba, and then I got another automatic drawing where I was like White Eagle, the chief among 12 chiefs, and I've helped people trans-medium channeling. And one of the people that I did, I think I told you before, he channeled Archangel Michael, and he says, "I'm here to bring in the gold." And I said, "What gold?" And they said, the golden energy. And
yeah.
I could already feel the guides and the masters. My room is like packed. This is Michael's show, so I'm not trying to take it over, but they want to tone, and they want to help open up Michael so that he can help facilitate the energies.
Ooh,
Because
Michael.
as we raise our vibrations, Michael, we get higher and higher guides.
Do you want to start
And
off with
so
that, Michael?
Well, that's that.
Pardon?
Sorry. She wanted to know if you wanted to start off with a tone, but what I really wanted to
Whatever
get in.
whatever you guys want to do.
Okay, so Marcy,
Well, I don't want-
hit
this is
it.
your show, so I don't want to take it over.
Hit it,
Like,
Marcy.
no,
Hit it.
Hit it, Marcy. You
go,
can,
go.
you can do it.
Because I worked on these two, so they know my work.
Yeah, and you guys
that's been
both work with
helping, you know,
Michael the
Susan
Archangel.
doing her
I actually I do
channeling.
too.
Yeah.
So tone away, and we're gonna
Lower
get right
carbon
into this
energy.
book.
Yeah, I'll probably get the book. So as we do the lower carbon energy, the crystalline energy, that's where the light codes come in, and that's where the guides can't deal, or the masters can't deal with dense energy. And so it helps clear out so that they could come in. And so that's all these people that pray or whatever's going on. If they have lower, denser energy, then they're kind of like more further away. Anyway, I got to hit the notes because my brain is not ready to explode. This is going to hit his third eye and his throat from what I'm getting. It's like getting those two connections to speak and feel at the same time. All right. Ooh.
That was a tough one. How you
What did I
feeling,
feel on
Michael?
that one?
Michael, you there?
What'd you say?
Oh, hold
I'm
on.
listening. What?
How are you feeling after that tone that she just did for you?
Did you feel it?
I work with energy also. Normally, toning is not one of the things I work with, but I totally accept it. So,
Okay.
I appreciate what you're doing. We each have our own path, and we each have our own doorways that we work with, and guides and teachers and beings of light. Let me just let Susan lead the show. Okay?
I am. It's just now I'm done. For some reason, the masters, which is Buddha, Ra, Thoth, many of the other ones that I've been dealing with now, especially in the last 5 or 6 years, they come in and they're the messengers through me or with me. And so I'm feeling your left shoulder vibrating a little bit around your throat area. And what happens is when they do that, that's going to help open you up for what you want to facilitate. And so
Okay.
sometimes they just come in like gangbusters and, this is your show, but for some reason they wanted to just do that.
All right, we're gonna get right into this now, because when I was reading this book, I went over everything. I mean, absolutely every
goodness.
single part of it, and literally the beginning of the book is the first thing that caught me, and I think it had to do with the introduction, and part of the introduction is very similar to something that I went through as a kid, which I have talked about on air before. I mean, everybody that knows me knows that I'm psychic empath, clairvoyant empath, whatever you want to call me. So, I mean, I went through that. And I know that some of the experiences, which I have read in the book, which I'm not going to state because, you know, we're going to make people buy the book.
Oh, my goodness.
Because this is worth it. This is worth having a book in any library. How would you... what made you decide to write something like this? And I'm going to describe, basically this book itself answers who you are, what you're doing, and what your soul's purpose is. At least it did for me. So what gave you the idea
Okay.
for this?
Okay, Susan, I've worked with over 20,000 clients all over the world. I've been to every state in the United States and 54 countries so far. I've traveled with, studied with, spent quality time with Native American medicine people, Canadian medicine people, Eskimo shamans, Peruvian shamans. I worked for about 3 weeks straight helping as an assistant with the psychic surgeons from the Philippines and being taught by them. I've lived and traveled with the Maoris in New Zealand. So in my travels, I've accumulated a lot of knowledge. I've worked in medical clinics, chiropractic clinics. I've worked with psychiatrists, psychologists, holistic medical doctors, and worked in holistic medical centers. And what's happened was, what I realized was helping people to heal was pretty easy for me. However, the big challenge was to give the people a foundation that they can build upon. So if you don't have a firm foundation of your house is going to be built on quicksand or shaky ground.
That's
Agreed.
true.
So
That's
Agreed.
the
true.
reason I wrote the book, pardon?
I agree.
So what happened was I felt it was extremely important to write a book that explains to people, number one, why would you choose to come into Earth? And I use the word choice because some people believe they're sent here as a sentence and a punishment, and they're not. They made a conscious choice. Number two, what is the process? And for me, it's meeting your guides and teachers before you come in. Not the same ones that you have during your lifetime, but these are special guides and teachers like counselors that sit down with you and say, okay, let's look at your cosmic report card, your report card, your Akashic records from the beginning of time. What have you learned? What do you still need to learn? What is the best piece for you to learn this lifetime? So these guides and teachers will sit down with you, counselors, and help you to choose who your parents are, what the color of your skin is, what culture you're going to be come in. Are you going to be coming in at a time of war or peace? What is it that you're going to be experiencing? What is it that your soul needs the most? What's the missing pieces? And the big thing with this is these guides and teachers are wise. And when we're on the other side, we're all knowing beings, and we're sitting there going, oh, I can handle that, and yeah, give me that test, and yes, I can go through this challenge. But when we're on the other side, when we're in spirit, we are all knowing, and we're invincible. So from that state, we would take challenges that are perfect for an enlightened being, but not for someone coming into the human plane, because the veil shuts and we forget all those talents and abilities, or a lot of them. So the first thing is meeting with the guides and teachers. And then what happens when the sperm and egg come together? What's the energy that happens there? What's the energy that happens in the womb? What happens at birth? What happens 0 to age 7? What kind of lifetimes are there? Because there's about half a dozen different types of lifetimes. There's lifetimes when we learn. There's lifetimes when we're in recovery. There's lifetimes when we're learning a new skill. So when I wrote the book, it was to give people a foundation so they understood they understand what they're going through, and part of the challenges they have, and then dealing with functional and dysfunctional families, the different types of decisions we make in life. All this is in the book, and I wrote the book purposely to give people that foundation so that they're more aware and conscious of the decisions they make. Yes, in the book I talk about different clients that I've worked with. I've masked the names and the dates and the countries and the names, but I give a lot of examples in the book of when I worked with this client, this is what happened. Some of the things that are coming through for me now is I worked with one client that hadn't been back on the planet for 25,000 years. It was a guy. He was
Wow.
a big, strong guy. And when I said that to him, I said, you haven't been back in 25,000 years. And he looked at me and said, I must have done something horribly wrong. And I said, absolutely not. I said, you were amazing and you're a warrior of the light, but you weren't needed for your skills. You weren't needed till right now. So you're being born now. So I worked with him to realize and love himself, accept himself, acknowledge himself, where before he was beating the crap out of himself.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of times when we have misperceptions about who we are and what we've done in the past. I've never met anyone that God's Spirit judged. It is always ourselves that does the judging. So a lot of the perception that people have, I've seen so many miracles. When I was in New Zealand working, and there was a Maori woman who traveled with me. We were just friends. Actually, there was a team of people. We traveled together and worked together. And one day when we were working in a workshop, I said, I wonder what level we're working on. And I kept checking, and we were working on the 22nd dimension.
Wow.
Whoa.
And that was back 10 years ago.
And so,
Wow.
Michael,
Wow.
I want to confirm stuff because this is why they want me in the show. I do energy healing, and so when I hit the tones, it doesn't go by lineage, it goes by vibration. So when, like one person I've worked on, she's been a whale, she's been a fairy, she's been a master. We just got done with the codes in her. And so when the energies, and this is just confirming the stuff that you're talking about, because I have been a shaman in other lifetimes. You get me around powwows, I'm home. And so I have these abilities that I've carried over and many lifetimes. The whole thing with this planet is getting our past, our present, and our future all aligned. And that could be, other planets, other dimensions. And when I work on people, those energies will come up and the cellular memory will remember those fears, angers, loves, joys, and to release it. And then that's just getting in that transmuting, transition, energies that you're talking about.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I just ask, whenever I work with anyone, I become empty and I listen and I have absolutely nothing on my mind. And I ask, what is it that this person needs? What's the missing piece? And I just get quiet. I connect to their soul, their spirit, their guides, their teachers, their higher selves. And I ask, how can I serve you? And from that place, I listen and I get told what to do. And that's what I do. And I just trust that. And there's a lot of times things happen that I have no clue about. Sometimes I even say things. I tell the people, I have no clue what I'm telling you, but they say, I know why you're telling me this.
Yes.
So a lot of what I do, it has nothing to do with power. It's not about control. It's about surrender and service. So
Right.
that's where I'm focused.
Right.
Now you
The whole
were
thing that when I do the energy work on people, it gives them back their power. I don't try to control people.
Right.
Oh no, 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 no.
Not
We
at
know
all.
that.
No,
we know that.
Marcy.
We know that. What you were talking, and again, I read this in the book, and I've always been a firm believer in certain aspects of things. Like we all face challenges, but from experience of my background with the holistic counseling and everything else that I've done, I always tell people, certain things. If you have a child and a child is actually learning to walk, you have to fall a few times. They don't just get up and walk. They fall, and that's how they learn.
Right.
So if you take the concept of that particular thing and you bring it forward into adulthood, it works the same way.
You got to fall a few times
You
before
just
you pick
fall,
yourself
and
up.
the falling isn't negative. It's more of a learning experience, and just like reading. Yes.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, and that's what I picked up out of the book. I loved that I was able to read it, and I was able to okay, this is this, that is that. It's like I can identify with the book a certain way. Michelle identified with the book a different way.
Yes,
and
like,
it was.
I need help.
Yeah, I mean, literally,
I
I
need some
found
serious
it.
help,
I
girl.
did. I found it extremely fascinating, especially. And again, I'm still going through the chapter 1 when you were talking about the soul frequencies and your soul vibrations and things. And maybe you could explain a little bit to people of exactly what
She's
that
kind of
means.
like me this week, though, with all
I
the
know.
notes and the paperwork and everything else. I am
love,
so happy
I
to
love
see
this book. I'm going to read it again. I
I'm
really
reading
am.
it. I'm reading it like at least 3 times. I'm going to try to get this stuff ingrained in me. I tell you, and as Marcy knows, I need Marcy to work on me. I need this book touched on so many elements.
It explains
It's
so
amazingly just touched on it. Just
Now
I felt
we
the
know
touch.
from experience, because we've worked with Marcy for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We know what her toning frequency does. What is the difference? What is the meaning of a soul frequency or
Right.
your soul vibration for those that are unaware of it?
How do you go about you're doing your healing?
Are you talking? I'm not sure who you're talking to.
Talking
so
to you, Michael.
Yeah, we're talking to you in the audience all at the same time. In your book, and again, I literally going through chapters. In your book, you talk about the soul frequency, or pretty much your soul's vibration.
Yes.
And as you grow, it goes through.
Okay.
Soul song.
Every soul has a different frequency and vibration. All matter has a frequency and vibration. And if you learn how to use it, it can adjust and help and heal or not. I want to go back to what you were talking about the child needs to fall off the bicycle.
Yes.
Mhm.
One of the things that I look at is when a child comes home from school, and if the mother, grandmother, whoever's at home says, "Come on, eat, you're going to feel better. I'll make you some food." If the mother or whoever does that 3 times, that child will have a tendency to have an eating disorder the rest of their life, because they're programming that comfort is connected to food.
Yes.
If a child gets off a bicycle and gets hurt, and you run over and give the kid unconditional love 3 times, then what happens is the child will learn, if I have accidents, I'll get love and I'll get attention. So what happens is the way, if a child comes home from school and they've had a bad day, rather than giving them food or anything else, sit down with them and say, "What are you feeling? What happened? What did you do different?" And you work with the child, and then after it's over, they talk to you, then you give them a hug. And then they're anchored into being independent and being strong.
Exactly.
If a child falls off the bicycle, gets hurt, you sit back, let the kid finish crying. Of course, if the kid's got broken bones or something, then you need to stop bleeding or whatever it could be.
Yeah.
But what happens is you sit back, let the kid finish crying. When they stop crying, ask them, "What did you learn? What would you do different next time?" And then after they're finished, you can see that they're okay, then give them a hug. I've actually figured out how to break codependency in one weekend, 1 2-day workshop.
Wow.
Wow.
So you can't
what
just tell the
happens-
kid to like walk it
what
off or
happens-
anything, right? Michael, you can't just go like I do. I'd be like, hey, walk it off, You know, you can't do one of those things.
So what happens is, in the workshop, my workshops have no structure, because when I walk in, I say, okay, here's the thing. I don't care if you're the best healer in the world. No one does any healing in this workshop except me. I don't want anyone playing with the energy. Zero, zilch, nada. Number two, everybody has to tell the truth. So if we ask, what are you getting on this person, or what are you feeling right now, you have to tell the truth.
Right.
And confidentiality, and you can't leave the room. If you need to go to the bathroom, I need to check whether you're running away or you really need to go to the bathroom, and I can see and feel that. So what happens is, after that, I sit down and I say, okay, who wants to work? Who wants me to work with them? And what I specialize is in small workshops, 18 people, where for 2 days, that's all I do. It's who wants to work next, who wants to work next. And whatever the issues are that come up are perfect for that group. I've done hundreds of these workshops all over the world, including the Middle East with medical doctors, women medical doctors in burqas, with a total Muslim audience where we had to stop and pray a number of times each day. I've done this all over the world. And what I've seen is, in 2 days, you can create a massive shift when you hold a very high frequency energy field. And I don't know if you and the audience know about the word entrainment, but the word entrainment is, if there are 3 grandfather clocks in the same room, the pendulum will wind up moving exactly the same in all of them after a while.
Yes.
Entrainment is when you have 4 women on their menstrual cycles living in a house together. Then all of a sudden what will happen is all the menstrual cycles will align. Well, my frequency and vibration is so high that when I'm teaching a workshop, the guides and teachers, the beings that I work with, come in.
You don't get your
And
period
in the
too, do
beginning,
you, Michael?
people say,
You don't get your
Pardon?
period. You don't get your period either, do you, Michael?
No.
Like, it's like, that just explained like so much to me right there. Like,
Wait a
No,
minute,
it's
I'm
the
an empath.
truth.
I'm an empath. I'm an empath and a highly sensitive person. I've had menstrual cramps, and I've also got drunk drinking water.
oh my goodness, sympathy pains, right?
Yes, I swear to God, when I was pregnant, my husband used to get the cravings.
Wow.
Literally.
That's like, now what is the term again for that, Michael? Like, was that like combining everyone's like clocks? What is again that term?
Are you asking
Hey,
me?
you guys, I'm
Yes.
feeling like an incredible amount of heat from my phone. It's like almost burning my ear.
Oh, no.
I bet all the energy is just going cuckoo.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've got,
okay.
what was the name of the term that you used for that?
The name of the what?
What was the term that you used that was in reference to?
Entrainment.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you,
That's
Marcia.
it.
It's called entrainment.
Oh, that is amazing.
So what happens in the beginning of the workshop, people say, Michael, you're crazy. And I'll go, yeah, I'm going crazy. I said, it's okay, wait a while. But then after being in the workshop a half a day, especially on the second day, the people are picking up what I'm picking up, sometimes even before I am. So the whole idea is to set up a high-frequency energy field. I've developed ways of reviewing people's guides and teachers and bringing them up to date, because a lot of people, out of loyalty, and I'm also hearing out of laziness, may keep their old guides and teachers when they've already moved on, and it's time for them to move to another frequency and vibration. So all these things are possible. I've seen health issues disappear. The record healing that I've seen was a person who had life-threatening allergy. The guy was in his late 40s at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember
And
reading
he had
that.
He got violently ill whenever he had coriander, or even a drop of coriander or a sprig of coriander was in things, and 3-4 seconds seconds later, after we started working on him, he was totally clear, and he's been fine ever since. I checked with him 7 years later. and he
Wow,
was
that
still
is
fine.
amazing.
Yeah,
So
it,
the whole idea, even with health issues, cancer, diabetes, allergies, Hep C, all these things are tied to a conscious or subconscious unresolved shock, trauma, or decision that we made. And when those are tuned into, they shift. The whole body shifts.
Mike?
wow.
But
75% of diseases is on the emotional and the mental level. So I had many different names, Cosmic, Operator, the Tone Zone. I woke up with the name Multidimensional Healer about a year ago. And it kind of incorporated all the stuff that I was doing, or I am doing. And with the diseases, whether it's past lives, our energies are carried over with our fears, diseases, all these different things that are going on. And so when you clear up and you raise up the frequency of the lower carbon energy and release that to allow the crystalline energy to come in, that's when the light codes come in. The tones hit to the ninth level of your DNA, which your body starts healing itself. And so, yeah, there are diseases that can be cured, different energies that can be cured, different frequencies. Once the lower frequencies, I kind of call it like oil and water. Once the oil is released and the water comes in, and the body can start healing itself. And with groups, it's even more powerful, like with your group sessions that you're doing.
you know, I actually believe that it's over 90% that I'm seeing the connection between health issues and
It could
energy
be.
blockages,
I just
and
read
karma.
75, but either way.
Yeah, it's and the other thing I look at is what is the karma? What is the karma from the person? Different parts of the body's needs are about surrender. Kidneys are about fear. Liver's about anger.
Right.
Throat and thyroid problems are about communication or being silenced.
Yes.
You know, again, I've had so much training in NLP, hypnosis, working with the psychic surgeon. What was interesting in working with the psychic surgeons, I almost went over to the Philippines to learn. I was invited. And people grabbed me and they said, "Michael, what are you doing?" I said, "My God, man, this is so amazing. I want to be a psychic surgeon." And they looked at me and they said, "Michael, you're missing it." And I said, "What am I missing?" It's not the highest form of healing, because the psychic surgeons will tell you, we can clear the garbage out of the body, but if you don't change your attitudes and belief systems, you're going to be back here in 6 months.
Exactly.
So the whole idea is to look at what is going on with the attitudes, the belief systems. Where's the energy block? Why is it blocked? What is the lesson to be learned? When you learn the lesson, everything else melts away.
Actually,
So,
it does. I can tell you from experience. I actually did call him,
Yeah.
and I knew that I was blocked for some reason, and I couldn't figure it out. And I knew there was something there. There was a reason behind it, but I couldn't figure out what kept blocking me every time. I kept unblocking myself. And when I went through it with you, I was able to, it's like I'm not blocked anymore because I know the reason. So if I feel it start blocking, I let it go, and I do. I feel like I'm flying today. I mean, you were right. It took a couple of days.
Yeah.
Michelle came in all upset, and she's starting to pet me
I
over
did. I
here.
pet her like a cat. I'm like, oh my
She's
God,
like,
your energy
I
feels
love the
so
energy.
good. Because I came over
So,
all
but yeah,
frazzled, and
I
she
did.
calmed me right down.
Everything he's talking about is 100% true. I mean, I went through it myself. The book is amazing. It really is. And it's just like so much. I'm literally still
Well,
on the
also-
first chapter.
Susan,
Yes, honey.
remember like when I said it's like when I work on people, because I've worked on people for the last 30 years, and I try to go one way and my guides send me another way. But a lot of times smells will come out, people will get sick, their body is detoxing, they'll get bumps on their body, and it's all their body is just releasing all this toxic energy, whether it's past lives, cellular memory, I took rebirthing, you know, the inner child, all that stuff it's all integrated, and it's all part of that multidimensional that Michael's talking about.
Right.
It's amazing how I'm telling you, I'm just stunned, and just for the
Michelle
first time
is speechless.
I
Everybody,
am.
write this on your date
for the
book.
very first time ever in my 42 years, I honest to God, I believe I am totally speechless.
Now,
Because all of this stuff, Susan coached me this week through a really tough family issue. And she coached me through it, and I absolutely trusted her advice and went right through it. And we had Marcy help with some clearing, everything. So before I get to, obviously, I'm now just talking to Michael right now. And I tell you, I went through that coaching, and I felt like a whole new person after that coaching. And in between Susan and Marcy and everything, I literally felt like I had a completely different perspective on things.
But see, that's what
and I feel
felt
better
like.
about it.
And that's what I felt like. It had to do with a past life.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I've had past lives, but
Yes.
I couldn't pinpoint it. And then once I finally pinpointed it, or should I say, he helped me
Yes,
pinpoint it. So, I mean, it was amazing. But, I mean, in your book, you're writing about as far as energy and people. Now, please excuse me, I have a bit of a cough there. Now, when we come in after like going through the process and things, and again, we're not going to cover everything in the book, but I'm just so fascinated by certain aspects of it. I've got like 7 pages written here.
I know, she's like me this time.
I know, it's like very fascinating. But now, children, we're getting back into the beginning, but almost the end of just what I went through as far as the first chapter. But children do have a tendency to see spirits and ghosts. Now, is that because they're more pure when they first come in, or?
What is your take on that, Michael?
Yeah.
Okay, when children come in, they're pretty open. They're aware. They can see. And then they get into, they say, oh, Mommy, I have invisible friends, or whatever it may be. And then parents will normally say, well, stop making up stories, or be laughed at. And especially when they get into school, a lot of kids I know are psychic. They can see auras. They can see other people. They can see other dimensions. But what happens is our culture, and it's interesting because the next book I'm writing now is on intuition. And I talk about how when we come in, it's the exact same thing you're talking about. When we come in, we're open. Then we get around the school. We get around most religions today. Equate seeing spirits and intuition with the devil, and especially if you're dealing with any fundamental religion, be it Christian, Muslim, or other fundamental religion, they are so anti spirituality and fear oriented. So a lot of these things are poo-pooed and ridiculed. So the people, even though they have a tremendous gift, when they get into school, when they get around other people, they're told, stop making up stories, or they're mocked or humiliated. There are some parents who are very aware, and they'll tell the child, you can talk to me, but not anyone else, because they won't understand.
That's what I went through, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go through.
Exactly.
A lot of people are very, very open coming in, but then because of what goes on in the world, they start shutting down. And especially going through the teenage years and school years, kids are rough on other kids.
Yes, they can be.
So that later on in life they may open. But as a kid, they're open, and then going to school and sharing with other kids depends on the environment they're in. If they're supported, I don't know about the Rudolf Steiner schools and the homeschooling, but if a child is nurtured, then they keep that gift all the time. Down in I don't know if it's South America, Africa, or where it is, but they take anyone that they know, and the Native Americans, any of the indigenous tribes, they look at this. Okay, let me preface this. The indigenous tribes that aren't haven't taken on another religion. But if they have their own original culture, then this the medicine person, the shaman, the healer, the seer,
Yes.
it's nurtured. In my new book, I talk about prophets, seers, healers, and prophets. And in the Old Testament, these were the most revered people of everybody.
Right.
But then
Right.
some
Yep.
things happened. Some things happened with Christianity, the Council of 325, and then what happened was the Black Plague, and then what happened was this Spanish Inquisition,
Yep.
and the Renaissance, and all these things changed the whole culture's relationship with prophets, seers, and healers. So we have a cultural shift.
Yeah, because if you're going back to the time of England, the King of England, he always had
Susan?
like a seer and things like that.
Susan?
Yes.
Yes, Marcy?
Susan, on the History Channel, this was an interesting story because most of my friends are psychics, healers, therapists, as you know, and my son, who's 17, has grown up with that type of energies, and as you know, he hung out with us, a couple days
Yes.
ago.
Yeah.
Well, I was watching Ancient Aliens, and they had a 2-part series called Banned from the Bible. And basically what happened is these priests got together, bishops, around the 16th century, I guess around the witchcraft, the women had a lot of power, and there were 16 different books that they just kind of put in together as the Bible.
Yes. Yeah.
And my friend Ermina, I think that she was Leonardo da Vinci with her artwork. I mean, she's incredible. And I didn't tell her I was watching Ancient Aliens, and they were talking about the Ark Covenant. And she's
We
like,
have a
okay,
caller.
who do you want me to draw? I'm like, I'm just going to let my guides do it. And she ended up painting Melchizedek and sending it to me on a wood thing. 10 minutes after I had the conversation, and he was all part of the Ark Covenant energy, type of thing. And so it's all taking away the power. The women had power,
Mm-hmm.
and the bishops got together around the 6th, and they just bits and pieces of the Bible. They don't make sense because they've just taken experts out of different books and put it together and made one big Bible.
That's
Agree.
right.
Agree.
That's right.
Michael, we have a caller on the line.
And our chat room is buzzing
I
with
know.
comments for everyone. It's amazing.
So, yeah, it is. But we do have a caller on the line. Would you like to take a caller?
Michael?
Go for it.
All
Okay.
right.
Go for it.
Yes.
Welcome. You are live on the air with Awakening the Unknown. Do you happen to have a question for our guest?
I do, and you should recognize this.
It's Erin. Is this Erin?
Hi, who's this?
Erin Gray, I believe.
Yeah.
Hi. How
Hi,
are
Erin.
you?
What's your question for our guest, Erin?
I have a question as a Native American and a Christian myself. I want to reiterate before we do blanket statements that not all Christians are closed off to being open. In fact, and you were just hitting on this just before they picked up the call, that the Bible does state that there are gifted in this world. In fact, the Book of Enoch would be a major one for you to touch on,
Right.
because it not only describes what the gifts of the Bible were, what the gifts of God are, what the gifts of spiritualism are, it also explains how to do that. That was removed to take away the power from the people.
Right. Right.
And the women,
Especially the women.
And the
Yes.
and especially the
The witches.
Especially the women.
They were all started to be burned around 16th century.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
well,
Mind you,
there wasn't anything called witches. They were very spiritual beings, but they labeled them and discounted them.
Yes.
But yes,
correct.
I have no
But
I
who
have
wrote
no
the
issue
Bible?
with.
Go ahead,
Pardon?
Michael. Go ahead,
Sorry,
Michael.
go ahead, Michael.
I want to remind everybody, who wrote the Bible?
Each,
It's a bunch
Well-
of bishops got together. If you look at banned from the Bible, that's at
Man
least
wrote
that's
the
what I
Bible.
saw on the History Channel.
man.
Mankind wrote the Bible, not
Yeah.
God. he
Michael?
inspired it.
Hold on a minute, guys. Hold on. Michael,
Like
what's your
you
opinion on
said.
that one?
What are you trying to say, Michael?
Okay, what all I'm saying is that in the Council of 325, Constantine chose what was taken and what wasn't. But a lot of the religions were hijacked by, like the Roman Empire hijacked the religion, and then they wound up hunting down and killing a lot of the Gnostics and the people that held the original teachings. Mary was probably the wife of Jesus, and they made her into a prostitute.
Yeah,
So
I really
there was
do.
a lot of
I've
changes
always
that went
believed.
on.
I hate to interrupt you, but I do believe that Mary was Jesus's wife, and Jesus was a gifted individual. It's
She
just
is
part of
the
my belief.
Masculine's badge of honor.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
Mike.
if you take a look, there's a book called The Holy Blood and the Holy Grail, which was an international bestseller, New York Times bestseller, and then there was another book they wrote called The Messianic Legacy, and it was written back to what was true back then, and back then, if a rabbi or a teacher was not married, did not have children, they had no power within the community.
Huh.
Wow.
That was one of the things, to be married and have children.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So
That's a curse in
there-
itself.
It was not until Catholicism came along
Yeah,
Yeah.
that men were not. Go ahead.
Okay, and also Rocco Errico translated the original Bible from the Aramaic. And when he did that, 40 days and 40 nights, all it means is a long time. The word sin, all it means is it's an old archery term. Even looking in the dictionary, sin is an old archery term, meaning you missed the bullseye, shoot again, do better this time.
Wow.
Now that I
The
didn't
thing
know.
about devil,
Did not know that.
No, I didn't know
the
that.
whole word- and the whole word devil is just the word live spelled backwards. Live. And
OMG.
a lot of this- So when you take a look, I've done a lot of. Okay, I'm 73 years old. I've spent a lot of time traveling, listening to people, talking to people, being I don't want to say corrected, but being educated.
Marcy, he's still hot
I've
at
been
73,
around.
though, darling. I watched his YouTube videos today. I watched his YouTube videos twice today. I said, you're still hot at your age. So, Marcy, FYI, watched him on
I'm
YouTube
not-
today.
I'm
He's
not
still
hearing you
hot.
guys.
Okay, I gotta rein this one back in.
That's why we got the fans here.
All right, hold on a minute. We actually have,
Humor's coming through.
yeah, we actually have another caller on the line. Erin,
Wow.
did he answer your question, honey?
Yes, he did. I appreciate your time.
Oh, thanks for
Oh
sticking
no,
with
thank
us.
you, honey.
You want to say
Hold
something?
on, wait a minute. Don't let her go.
Okay, don't go
let her
yet.
Whoa.
Stay here with us, Erin.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. In a good sense, I want to say this, and I'd really like everyone to hear this on all levels throughout all dimensions. I totally honor and respect Buddhism, Christianity, the Muslim religion, the Hindu religion. I've been to all the temples. I've been with the people. Some of the teachings are very pure. Some of the teachings, I think, some have been misinterpreted. And remember, most religions, almost all religions said, I'm right, you're wrong. My path is the right path, your path is the wrong path. And
I will leave you with one more thing to think on before I go.
and for me, I've spent time in the sweat lodge. I've spent time vision questing, pipe ceremonies. I've spent time when I was teaching in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Kuwait. I had extensive, beautiful experiences with these people. In fact, when I was in Kuwait, the people said, Michael, you're more Muslim than we are.
Wow.
And it was a great honor because I was accepted into their culture. They said, Michael, you fit right in with us. So I do well in most religions and most cultures, unless they say my way is the only way, and if not, then you should be killed.
Okay.
And that's
Michael.
the only thing that rubs me. Go ahead.
Here's one for you. And this is something I just want you to think about, and this is a pose for everybody to think about. I don't need answers, I just want you to all think about it. In the Bible, it says that God says, thou shalt not worship any other God before me. Correct?
Yes, the Bible does say that.
Does he ever once say that there were no other gods in existence?
That's true. That is true.
I don't know.
Well, if anybody has any ideas on that one.
No, I don't have I don't have a Bible like that. I don't. I'm sorry.
I actually do Bible study on Fridays.
she does. She does.
If we're talking about the Bible, I'll add one other thing that I learned. In the Bible, when it said thou shalt not kill, that wasn't the commandment.
That means murder.
No. What it meant was thou shalt not kill a member of your own tribe, because your tribe needs to be stronger than the other tribe, so when you go to battle, you win.
Oh,
so
like
in
a
the
war
Bible,
technique.
When it said thou shalt not kill, you can kill anybody else, it didn't matter, but you don't want to weaken your tribe. You don't want to weaken your group.
Right, because it was considered tribes back
Well,
then.
before we get into this really detailed religious debate, we're going to get back into it right now.
Yeah, we
So
have another
I'm
caller.
reining everybody back in.
We have another
right
caller
now.
already.
There's a lot more to this than just the debate of religions, and I'm pulling the Indian right now. So we're just gonna step that back, people. So, Erin, thank you so much for calling, and stay tuned. We're gonna get to the next one.
Darling.
You know we love you, hon.
Keep
you know
chatting
we love
with
you.
me in the chat room. It's me, Michelle.
Yeah.
Keep chatting with me in the chat room.
All
we have
right.
another caller.
We have another caller on the line, and we're going to take this caller just before we get ready to go to a break. But when we come back, I want to definitely get into how he gets the information for his clients.
Yes.
And that is something we haven't even had a chance to discuss yet. I'm literally only still in the first two chapters.
Everything's buzzing. How
So-
about you, Marcy? Your
Yep.
ear must be on fire over there.
All right, so we're going to get to the next caller right now before we go to a break. If I can get it to, there we go. Hello, you're live on the air with Susan, Michelle, Marcy, and Michael. Do you have a question for our guest?
Hello, caller.
Hello.
You're on the line with Awakening the Unknown.
Hi, I didn't realize that I clicked the number 1
Oh, that's
to be on the show.
no.
But
If you don't have a question, you just want to listen, that's fine.
Or a comment if you want to make a comment. Is this Terry?
does he do readings on air, or is it just a private session?
What is it you need, or what is your question?
She's requesting a private
Let her talk. It's all right.
My question is, there's this lady named Lori, and we're no longer talking, but I was wondering, is there ever going to be any closure there so I can move on, or is there not going to be closure?
Well, first of all, what I'm hearing is you have to make a choice, because you can create closure anytime you want to. So rather than waiting for something else or someone else, do you want closure? And if you want closure, then just say, this is closed. I move on. But it sounds like you're hoping for something else. Do you want an apology from this person? What is it you want before you feel like you can move on?
I just want to discuss some things, like discuss certain things with her, and for
Then
her
call-
to
then call her.
understand.
You know something? Here's part of the challenge. There's people who understand me, and there's people who will never understand me. And no matter how much I want people to understand me and accept me and understand that I really want to help people, and that's my commitment, and I would never, ever, ever do anything to hurt anyone. But some people don't understand that, because when the information comes through me, it comes through so strong sometimes that the people are shocked or they're burst into tears. Now, that's coming through to help them, never to hurt them. But some people will never understand that because of what their perceptions are. So if you're
Yes.
looking for understanding, then the challenge is, why do you need her to understand you? And do you understand and accept yourself? Now, the other way of doing it is make an overture. There's someone I know recently, actually this past week, that I've known for since 1981, 1982. And I decided I had to terminate the relationship because it wasn't healthy anymore. And this was one of my best friends.
Yep.
Now, this person, I cannot sit down. I did my best to talk to them about what went on for me. However, they have a different perception, and that's okay that they have another perception. But you have to know what's right for you. You have to love, honor, respect, and support yourself.
Yes.
Now, one of the ways of doing it is to write it out and say, I would like to talk with you, or I apologize that this happened. When I contacted this person, I said, because I hadn't talked to them in 4 months, and I said, I want you to know that I forgive you for your part in whatever happened. Actually, I started it the other way. I said, I apologize for my part in whatever happened, and I forgive you for your part in whatever happened. I deeply honor and respect you, and I wish peace with you. And I said, and I would love to talk to you again. And when we did talk, it became obvious that it is not working anymore. So I had to let go of this relationship that was 35 years, a relationship,
Wow.
a friendship of 35 years. So what I would suggest is make an overture, take some kind of action, send them a nice card or something, and say, I would like to connect with you again and explain what happened, or you can just write it out, or you can just sit down in meditation, send that as a message to the other person, and bless and release them, and bless and release yourself. What I'm hearing is this is a great learning experience for you, and however it turns out, it turns out. And it's not, unless you make it earth-shattering, it's not an earth-shattering experience. It's a learning lesson, and a really good learning lesson. But the biggest part is for you to love, honor, respect, and support yourself. Does that help?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I've
Thank you.
gone through, as you change your energy vibration, everybody is a note. Okay, and I've gone through, like Michael has, so many different friends, family. As I've continued to grow in my spiritual journey, I didn't match their energy anymore. There are a few that have come back in my life, and sometimes the universe brings them back in. Sometimes I call it as a closure, but if you look at it as an energy and a frequency, you might have outgrown that person. And a lot of the people I was friends with 30 years, like Michael, and I had to let them go. I call it flip switching, and all of a sudden they cause an attitude, or you're the problem, not me. And if anybody's not accountable for their side of the situation, then they're not worth being it, because they're stuck in that victim mode and they're not open to changing. So if you look at everybody as a note, you're just at a different note. Maybe you've been growing, she hasn't. It's like marriages. Marriages, sometimes people outgrow each other. So if you look at it like that, and you mourn over what coulda, shoulda, woulda been, and release that energy, then it'll get you more at peace.
I agree, absolutely.
I
It's
agree
like
too.
I'm releasing it but
Pardon?
it's just taking. I've released a lot, but it's taking so long.
Sometimes
Well, it's a
it
process.
does.
It's
I
a
mean,
process.
your learning process itself it's your learning process. Some people do take longer than others to actually process information as well as
can I
anything
pop-
else.
Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah. Can I pop in here, please?
Sure, go ahead,
Okay.
Michael.
What's your? Can I have your first name, please?
Christiana.
The caller.
Yeah, Christiana is her name?
What I'm Christiana, what I'm hearing is that there's something in this that ties back to your mother and father. It ties back to early childhood, or when you were growing up. That's what's making it so hard for you to just let it go. It's reminding you of something that happened in your childhood when you were growing up. So sometimes when there's a lingering residue from childhood or a pattern that hasn't been cleared, it keeps showing up in our life until it is cleared. And I do agree that we can outgrow things. We do outgrow things. We head in other directions because the whole thing in life is to learn, change, and grow. However, what I'm hearing and seeing is that there's something in this with, I'm not getting whether it's your mother, father, but it's something to do with your family when you were growing up, that this is tying into that on some level. So there's contamination. It's not just about whoever this person is. It reminds you of an earlier experience you've had in your life. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Now, may I ask a favor from you? Okay, during the time of the radio show, and afterwards, I'm going to ask if, with your permission, for the guides, teachers, healers to help you to resolve this, because it's important for you to resolve both this with this person now, but also the childhood residue. Do I have your permission to do that?
Yeah.
It's actually clearing already. But just realize that there is something in your childhood that this is it's a resonating frequency. Okay?
Okay.
And good
All
luck
right,
to
thank
you.
you.
Thanks
By the
so
way,
much
I'm
for your
gonna
call,
be giving
Christiana.
my-
All right. Thank you so much for calling in. We're getting actually to the top of the hour, and it's time to take a short break. So I want everybody to stay on the line.
Don't
and
go anywhere.
We will definitely be back. So we're going to put everybody on hold right now.
Chance to get your coffee,
Yep,
water.
Take a short pause for the cause.
Yes, go to your potty closets. Go on your pee-pee pads.
All right. And again, as always, Beats by Jer.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Oh no, we're done. All right, here we go. All right, people, we're back. We just took a pause for the cause, and we're going to pull everybody back on right now. Like to thank everybody, and don't forget, before we get into anything else, we're going to get into the fact of the shows. Don't forget, we have the Blunt Trucker. Wonderful. He's going to be on tomorrow night. Then we have Night Visions, which is the cooperative show between Vive Network and the Rift Network. And then we have the Hitman, of course, himself, Howie Odell. He's going to be on the Orion Effect. And then we will have Rogue Talk Radio, just short of crazy night moves, knowledge behind the veil, and Hollywood Connections does come on once a week. So always stay tuned to the Rift Network. 6 days a week, absolutely Wonderful. All right. So let's get back into everything right now. And we've gone through some information, some debate here and there, but that's okay. That's, that's, to me, that's what the show is about. We're a non-judgmental show. Everybody has the right to their own opinion. But
we love a healthy debate.
We do.
Absolutely.
And I do. I love that aspect of people.
Isn't
I love it. Sorry, honey. Hi,
isn't it
Michael.
amazing when everybody's right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I feel that everybody in life has the right to their own opinion. I do. And that's what this show's about. This show itself is about everybody's right to their opinion. Like, I have my own opinion that I have formed already of your book, and I love it.
Yeah,
but
and everyone has their own comments. Everyone has their own thoughts about what's being said.
That's what I love about this. That's what I love about this. So
and then
I
you
want
got Marcy, who's going to end up marrying Michael sometime in the future.
All right. I want to get into one main question here. Now, I know, and like certain people are actually born with gifts, and sometimes they shut them off. And from what I was reading, I don't want to get too much into detail because I'm going to make everybody purchase this book because it's a wonderful book to have. I mean, whether you want to agree with it or not, I'm just telling you that the information in the book, the way that he presents it and the way that he's writing it, he doesn't tell you to form an opinion. He's only giving you what he has learned as far as facts.
Right, the tools to go about
tools,
finding these things out for yourself.
Exactly. So let's see. The first question, I have several questions for you, but
Marcy, are you still with us, darling?
Oh, of course. You can't get rid of me that easy.
I know what Marcy's doing. She's checking him out on YouTube and going, wow, he's pretty hot.
Yeah, it's his show. I'm just giving him the respect for him to talk. I didn't want to, overbear on anything. So I'll throw in a few opinions or statements.
And that's okay. That's all right. Sometimes you don't even hear me. Michelle is so quiet
I
this
know.
show.
I'm like wicked quiet. I'm like shocked with myself. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like quiet. I'm like... it's just so much wonderful
Now,
information.
you were talking just before the break. We had a caller call in, and you were talking to her. Now, here's a really good question. How do you, get the information that for the clients? What's your process as far as getting the information that you need in order to give it out to somebody else in order to assist them and help them?
Well, actually, it's quite easy. Because I get out of the way and I become a blank sheet, a blank slate. I clear my mind totally. And I ask, how can I serve this person? Because when she was talking about this person she's having a challenge with now, and she wanted to explain herself, what I kept getting, there wasn't a lot of energy on that. And it didn't make any sense to me. So I kept getting quieter and quieter, and I asked, what is the single most important piece of information that she needed that would help her? Because my whole goal is to serve, to help, support, and alleviate pain and suffering. So the information came through that what was going on, this misunderstanding or whatever it was a mere reflection of something that was unresolved from her childhood.
That actually
makes sense. Where she never got a chance to explain herself, and it wasn't understood. And all I did was give her the information. Now, as I was watching and tracking the energy, as I gave her that information, her healing started, and her energy shifted. So in other words, when she came on the air, and I hope she doesn't mind me talking, when she came on the air and asked me the question, energetically I couldn't find her. She didn't have a strong energy signature. But after I gave her the piece that it was something from her childhood, it was like her whole energy field shifted.
Interesting,
and
though.
It shifted in a very positive way and strengthened and got stronger. So I know, and then I asked her if I can continue to pray for her and send her positive healing energy, which it was almost done right when we were talking, but I wanted her to know that she was loved and supported, because I have the feeling that the caller is a very sensitive person and may not have the amount of support, understanding, and nurturing that she needs in this lifetime. I may have explained that too much, but
no, you didn't.
This is what's coming through.
Exactly. No, you didn't explain that too much. That
now,
was
Marcy,
actually a
what did you
perfect
get
explanation.
from Erin's call in? What were you experiencing while she called in?
Well, I've experienced what happens is the universe keeps on giving us people and situations over and over again until we work through it. And so there's times I've run away to situations and the universe is like, oh, you think you can do that? Then they'll bring something that I haven't resolved. And once we resolved it, then those people or situations don't come back. It's all these catalysts that are stuck in our energy field, you know, as to what we need to work through, or to change our vibrations, or to take back our power. You know, like when I work on people, one of the blogs that I wrote that you guys remember I sent it to you is how we disconnect. And I'll see those parts of ourselves in like these little clear boxes. And I'll either hear the energy coming out from the mental level, the emotional level, the sounds will coming out. And so it is, and the chemistry is unresolved issues from our past. And like what I was saying before, you know, on another show, it's we have our psychic cords and our psychic connections. And even though we're just physically letting go of those people, those cords and those connections, as I've worked on both you guys, they're still in there, like telephone lines. So whether we have to burn them, energy, but this wasn't my show, so I wasn't going to go into it with her about how to burn it. You know.
Don't worry, we'll have you on. We've got a bunch of stuff and ideas. We'll definitely talk to you about that tomorrow.
Oh,
but
I already know. And that whole mirroring thing that we were talking about, you know, it's just it's reflection back stuff. People will mirror stuff we have unresolved.
Yes.
And that woman is probably mirroring the stuff that's unresolved, as Mike said, that she needed to work through and take back her power.
Exactly. And you guys just said basically the same thing, just in different wording. And,
right.
And that's what I'm feeling.
It's different wording. The
that's
male way and the
literally.
female way.
Yeah. Well,
oh my goodness, that's a good way to put it.
It really is. It's just, and that's the thing. It's the same energy field to me. It's just in different wording. I mean, now you guys have both worked on me. Both of you two have actually worked on me. But today, my energy is like vibrating higher than it's vibrating.
I know. I want to like rub myself all over her. I'm like
it's vibrating.
I have a story.
Sure.
Michelle, Susan.
Yes.
I have a friend of mine that I think I told you about. That's a shaman, and he started working on me, and our lives were very parallel. And then I ended up working on him, and we worked on spells and curses and past lives. Well, that night, his heart chakra just blasted my heart chakra. Wow. You know, and I teased him. I said, "Your heart chakra kicked my heart chakra in the ass." All night I was taking pain pills. It just blasted, and I've worked on him several times, and you know, like I said, I've been around like Mike has, just in a smaller way because I've had the universe kind of continue me with my sister being trustee and raising my kids, so I haven't been able to go around the world, you know, or do whatever is going on.
He's
right
single,
now,
Marcy. He's single. That's why.
Huh?
He's single. That's why, Marcy.
But I have been working on people, and I have been able to validate a lot of what he talks about. It's just as a healer, being clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, channeling masters, doing the tones, doing all these different things that are going on. It's incorporating all these different things, like working on my friend that's a shaman, and his heart chakra just blasted the hell out of me. And you know, it's all energy.
It is.
It's all mirroring, and until we work through it, then once you work through it, then the person won't affect her at all. It's just a trigger. When we have, how do I put this? When we react to something that's from the past, so she hasn't worked through that energy. When we work through it, we learn to respond.
Right. Right. It's like what Mike was saying about about a child falling off the bike.
Yeah.
You know, it's just changing the way that you present your, I'm not even sure of the right word, but present your manner to the child that gives that person, the child, the confidence to kind of experience it in a different way instead of us going over and going, oh, poor baby.
Yeah, I've raised boys, so I've never done that. I don't.
I've
run
raised a
over.
boy.
Boys gotta be
Portuguese
tough.
boys don't know. See, that's why my poor son doesn't even touch things without gloves.
You know, you're talking about energy now, Michael. What my question is we're talking about energy, and a lot of people that do certain type of healings don't get into maybe the core of their present self, but you yourself have, as far as I'm concerned, the unique ability to go even into the past lives,
even deeper.
Now, is there a different process for that, or is it just something that comes out when you empty yourself? Because that's going really deep.
I've studied NLP, hypnosis, Reiki. I've had, I started with hypnosis back in 72, I think it was, 1971, 72. NLP, Neurolinguistic Program, back in 1983. I've got all kinds of trainings and certificates and everything else. I don't use any of it anymore. All I do at this point is just sit down and become empty and ask, what does this person need? And I'm guided, I'm guided to wherever it is that they need to go. So I have a team of healers, shamans, healers, whatever, all these different groups working with me. I'm working with the White Brotherhood, the Emerald Brotherhood, the Sisterhoods of Light, the Councils and Tribunals of Light. I've got a whole team I'm working with.
Right.
And it's their job to get me the information. My job is the mouthpiece. God said, I worked with a bunch of people, and the information that came through is, Michael, we chose you because you have a big mouth. In other words,
that makes sense for me, too.
Spirit will go ahead and give me the information, and I am willing, without editing it or putting my spin on it, to give that to the people who need it in a way that they need it. So sometimes I'll be very, very gentle. Sometimes I'll yell at a person. Sometimes I'll talk in riddles. Whatever Spirit is telling me to do and the way they tell me to do it, because that is the key to unlock the doorway to whatever the person needs.
Right.
This is not about me. It's about how can I serve this person. So there are some people I'll go into past lives. Some people I'll go into other things. Some people I'll just talk in metaphor. Some people, I'll give you an example. Many, many, many years ago, I'm talking about 1995, I was in Greece. And I was doing a workshop. There were three groups. There was a German group in one corner of the room with a translator. There was a Greek group in another corner of the room with a translator. And then there was a group that spoke American or English. They were in another corner. And this one woman in her 60s asked me to work with her. So I had her come into the center of the room. I got quiet. And I asked, what can I give this? How can I help this person? And all I could see was a pair of hands playing a flute. And I'm sitting there going, okay, thank you, Spirit. Now, Spirit, I'm going to look like an idiot here. This person's asked for help. Can you be more specific? I got quiet again. And all I can see, again, is the hands playing a flute, just the hands. And I went, okay. And I said, Spirit, come on. This is, I'm supposed to be helping these people. I need specific information. I don't know what you're trying to tell me. Be more specific. Same exact picture as the hands playing the flute. Well, okay. My commitment is not to make up any stories, not to embellish, but just to be as pure as possible and give the information. And I sat there and I said, I'm sorry. All I can tell you is what I'm getting. I have no clue what it means. I'm not getting anything further, and I'm not going to make up any stories. But all I can see is a pair of hands playing a flute. And at that point, everyone in the room got very quiet because we were reflecting upon the message that came through. We were on the 3rd floor of a building that had no windows. There was no noise. There was nothing else there. And all of a sudden, over half the people in the workshop, including me, heard a flute playing. And the woman changed. Now, I, to this day, have no clue what happened. That was 36 years ago. I have no, or I don't know, no, it wasn't. Anyway, 23 years ago. I have, to this day, no clue what that was about, but it's none of my business. It's between spirit and the person, and all I am is a messenger.
Yes.
All I am, my job is to bring forth whatever the peace that her higher self, her guides, her teachers, her soul, spirit wants her to have as a gift.
I understand
so
that.
I have over 500 stories. So I'm not gonna get into all the stories, but in my book, that's what I have. I've done my best in the book to talk about information, and then add to that information with actual stories that of clients that I've worked with, where it's helped them to transform their life.
Yes.
Back to you. Question? Or
And back to you.
That was cute.
That was really cute.
No, I
Erin put
do-
a smiley face in the chat room, so she really was very happy that we have really she must obviously be feeling the energy.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, like static.
Will you stop rubbing me already? My
Look at
God,
this,
this
the
girl.
beach, the
no,
wind in
as
my
far as
hair.
you talking about energy, I really understand that, because if I'm working with someone, I don't always get the question. It's like I'll get an answer and I'll say, look, I have an answer for whatever question you have, but I'm not getting the question because it wasn't meant for me to know. I'm only meant to give the answer. And that does happen.
Precisely.
So exactly. So I understand that. And it does work with me that way sometimes. And it's like having a half a conversation because, I don't know. I'm only meant to give the
facilitator.
Yeah, pretty much.
Facilitator.
Pretty much. It's not me. I'm the translator.
Hey, you guys,
Right, Marcy? What do you think?
Susan,
Yeah, honey.
Mike, well, I was flashed on a couple different things. One is when Bill and I went to, I did some healing work on his mom in Spokane, and then the next year Bill and I went, and then her and Crystal ended up doing transmedium work, and then we would sit in the basement where it was completely dark, and because Crystal was having, like, Abe Lincoln came through and some other people, and trumpets were starting to blare at the apports, and then smells were coming down. So they come in certain frequencies type of thing, and we literally all heard the trumpets. I had like a little crystal ball that I got. Elvis Presley, ended up giving Katie a scarf that literally came out of thin
Ooh,
air.
Elvis came through?
It was an amazing experience. What?
Oh, did Elvis come through? I love Elvis. Did
Yeah,
Elvis?
Elvis came through. Abe Lincoln was telling me, this was when I was like 29, so it was like 1989. And then I was flashing on when a couple of the people, as I raised their vibrations, they ended up trans-channeling, like I said, Elohim. And Elohim was talking about, like the different energies, and they would come in and they would type certain things that we couldn't see. They would come in and they would do tones. And so these different experiences of power, sounds, certain people are supposed to say certain things. And one of the last things before, because she was one of those people that just outgrew me, and I said, am I doing everything right? And one of the last things they said, because I still work with them, at least with Abby, was as long as you're telling the truth. And so they would come in through different, and they would say, this person has a white heart, this person has a white heart, and they would come in and work on the different energies that are going on. So sounds will come through, music will come through, notes will come through, and they'll communicate in different ways. Sometimes it's visual, sometimes it's audio. I'm all three. I'm audiovisual and kinesthetic, or clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient. And so they'll communicate in different ways. And one of the times with Abby, one would come in and say, oh, don't ask any questions. And then they delegate it, and it's like, oh, you have questions? What questions do you have? You know, so it depends on who you're talking to, what they discuss, who's delegating, and who's coming through to give us the answers that we need, that we may or may not supposed to have.
Exactly.
That makes all of this is just like, look at me, I'm goosebumps.
Yeah, she literally has goosebumps here.
I am.
Now, there's a couple of things that I wanted to get into, because I truly believe that the Rift Network is definitely, the entire Rift Network is in this band. But as far as, I wanted to ask you if you could actually give the definition of a soul group.
Right. I'm so dying to find
if you could
this out.
explain to the audience what a soul group is.
What does that mean? What is that? Michael.
Are you asking me?
Yes,
yes, I am, honey.
Yes,
Michelle,
you. No, you, Michael, hon. If you could explain that.
Okay. A soul group is a group of people that have incarnated potentially multiple times together. The group could be a group of many different groups that have come together to achieve a certain specific outcome, a goal to help people through the earth through an initiation, or a group could all be from the same place. In other words, a group could be, and I'm just going to use this as an example, the Oglala Sioux could be a group. The people, there could be a Hindu group, a group of people that have come through many, many, many lifetimes as a committed group. I was told that I'm part of a vanguard team coming to Earth, and there's not many people in my soul group here this lifetime, and that's one of the reasons why it's been so lonely and challenging for me. There's other people where they have a large number of people of their group that have come and that are here this lifetime, and they resonate with each other. They may feel very comfortable with each other. Now, the group can be born all over the world, so that when they come together, they're an international group. Or they could all be born in the same city and go to school together, and that way they can develop a working relationship and stay together as a very close-knit unit. They could even be born in the same family together.
Wow.
So a soul group can be one of many different things. Do you have any other questions about that?
Now, what about the meaning of a bridge person in relation to a soul group? What is the bridge person?
A bridge person is a person that can bridge more than one group. So in other words, okay, I'm a bridge person in a way, because my soul is a combination of extraterrestrial, interdimensional, and Native American. So for me, I can relate to nature very easily. I can also relate to higher realms of consciousness. So I'm a bridge person between those two. Those are two of my soul affiliations. There's other people that are bridge people. They love plants. They're from the plant kingdom. They're from the Diva kingdom.
Huh.
And they may be health-oriented. So these people may be highly active working with nutrition, plants, growing, organics. They might be farmers. They might be people helping with the distribution of plant seeds and information or health food. So a bridge person has more than one affiliation. They have more than one soul connection, and they're helping to bridge. Some people even have two or three. Wow. So in other words, we all know people that whenever anyone's hurting, they bring them flowers, or they have to have flowers. They have to be in nature in order to feel recharged. Those are people that are part of the Diva community. I actually had, when I was in New Zealand, something happened to me that blew my mind. I shouldn't say that. I should say expanded my mind. I was sitting there. I had bought some plant herbs, and this woman, a young woman who was more like a hippie chick, and she had a van filled with all these herbs and tinctures and everything else. And we went out to get my order, and she was putting together the bottles, and she looked at me and said, "Michael, the kawakawa plant is standing next to you. That's very strange." And then all of a sudden it jumped into my body. So here was a plant energy, a plant diva, that actually jumped into my physical body. And in New Zealand, the kawakawa plant is shaped like a heart. The leaves are shaped like a heart, and it is one of the main healing plants of the Maori community in the native plant. But it is the single most important plant in the healing plants of that country.
Wow.
And it jumped inside my body. So we have some people look at the midnight sky and say, you know, I want to go home, or I really relate to the sky. Some people need to be in water. They're more of a water spirit. So we have a lot of different types of people here. You're laughing.
I'm laughing.
Well, we're laughing because we live next to the ocean.
Yes.
And
yes.
the picture on our backdrop today is the ocean.
Yeah.
We're both waters. We're
Yes,
both
yeah.
like
I was actually known as the South End Mermaid for a while.
That's why she was laughing.
Yeah,
'Cause
no
it's
one
true.
actually knew it was me, but it was actually me out there at night swimming out in the ocean at night all by myself. But it's how I actually felt, like you're saying. I felt recharged
Exactly.
by doing that. So that's why we were laughing.
We
'cause
both
it's
we
so
both
us.
do over here. We just grew up on the ocean.
Yeah,
it's just,
the first
it's
place
a part
that we think
who
of
we
is
are.
go to the beach. Go to
yeah,
the
go to the
beach.
beach.
It's like-
Something's wrong. Go to the beach.
Yep, absolutely.
Need a break. Go to the beach.
So that's amazing how that.
Yeah,
you talk
it
about
really
that.
is.
Also pay
It was like check the background.
Yeah, right. Look at our background.
I know.
What was that?
Also pay attention to how you recharge. How do you recharge? How do you reclaim and get your energy back?
That is a
And
good
you
question,
notice those
Michael.
things.
Well, I recharge in a couple
Pardon?
of different ways. Me myself, water is one of them. Being next to the ocean, but I'm also really into nature, like a nature walk or just being out there.
I'm a snuggler. I got to snuggle
Well,
with my
you-
animals.
You've had many lifetimes as Native American, is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
So how are
And-
other ways
and
that
in-
people
and
recharge?
in the indigenous tribes. Pardon?
Michael, what are the other ways that people can recharge themselves, though? Is there other ways that we're not thinking of that we maybe don't know about? Even for me, snuggling with my dogs, and for some reason, just my
Okay, I'm
heart.
having trouble hearing you.
Oh,
Okay. So you're asked. The question is, how do you recharge?
right. And what are
Is
some
that-
of the ways that people can actually recharge themselves?
Well, one of the ways that I clear my energy is taking a cold shower. There's a Qigong pose called Embrace Tiger, which is about really pushing your energy out. Intention. You can meditate. I love to swim in the ocean with the salt water or a clear lake. I actually, in February, I took 2 weeks off, and I went down in Belize and went to a little island called Tobacco Cay. That was about a 45-minute high-speed boat ride out from the mainland. And I was sitting on a coral reef for 2 weeks, and I was alone, just got a little cabin, and for 2 weeks I spent all my time, as much as I could, in the water, just having that salt water cleanse my energy field. The bright sunshine will do it. Eating healthy will do it. Being around positive people.
Yep.
So actually, I want to put together a book that lists, at least 100 different ways. I've got a meditation tape. In fact, if anyone in the radio audience would like one, I've developed this tape for healing and centering and clearing your energy.
Wow, thank you.
And I'm more than
Michael.
happy to send it as a gift to anyone in the radio audience, and
Ooh.
include some other things like where are you on your priority list? Are you the top, or is everyone else more important than you? There's a lot of articles I've written. I'm more than happy to send a group of these articles to anyone that would like that.
Mhm.
All I need is for you to send me an email, and I'll send it to you. And is it okay if I give my email address?
Please,
Actually, yeah,
do.
definitely. I want you to give all your contact
Okay.
information to everybody
It-
that's listening.
Okay, it's very, very easy. It's Michael, Michael, at michaelbradford.com. And send me an email and just say, I heard you on the radio show. Just mark it radio show so I know it doesn't get lost in my email box.
Mhm.
And I'll send it out to you. But the big thing is to stay as centered as we can. And it's also about us loving ourselves and being compassionate and gentle with ourselves. We have a tendency to be forgiving, kind, caring, nurturing to everybody else. But for
That's true.
most of us, the hardest person that we're harder on ourselves than anybody else.
Yes.
So true.
And that's a big thing, is about being kind, caring, compassionate to ourselves, and forgiving.
Wow.
Back to you. Any other questions?
Oh my gosh, where do I start?
Yeah, we giggle a lot. We can't help it. We're girls. But all right, now here's another question we're going to get into. Is fact, there are people that actually have issues, but then they have core issues. Now their core issues can be different from the outline issues that they're actually having. Is that correct, or?
Well, a core issue, let me be vulnerable on the air.
Aw.
My core issue is my emotions.
Mhm.
It's healing my emotions. So in other lifetimes, I saw the light, and my mental body, my physical body, my spiritual body is very, very advanced and very strong. However, I saw the light and I went for the light, but I left my emotional body behind. So in this lifetime, my Achilles heel, my core issue is learning about setting boundaries, learning about asking for what I want, learning about not taking things personal, learning about not being oversensitive. So my core issue this lifetime is healing my emotional body and learning how to deal with emotions and feelings. And again, being a highly sensitive person and an empath, and being a person that's had menstrual cramps, being a person that's drunk,
Which I love that
drinking
you've had
water.
menstrual cramps, by the
You know,
way,
it's
Michael.
like, holy mackerel, man! How do you deal with this sensitivity?
Right? And we bleed.
And
Mike?
other psychics have said, Michael, if you had one more ounce of feminine energy in you, you would have had to been born a girl. And
Mike,
I'm sitting there going, I look at myself in the mirror, and I've got a warrior body.
you hear this, Marcy's got a warrior body.
And
You hear it? You listening, Marcy?
and all this.
Marcy has a
and all
comment,
this
actually.
sensitivity is like, how do you deal with all the sensitivity? So my
Right.
core issue is learning about feelings and emotions, and learning about not taking things personal, and on and on and on.
Right, right.
So we have certain issues that are
Mike?
minor issues. What?
Marcy
I-
heard the part about your
you might
body, so she
wanna
wants to talk to you.
No, let her talk.
I have my YouTube on the Cosmic Cosmos. I've got my tones. What the tones do, because I haven't gone too much into it, it hits the serotonin part of the brain, and it goes to the right side of the brain. When I do my tones, I don't use words. And so what happens is your body, like I was saying, it will go into your ninth level of your DNA, where different energies and emotions will rise. People have gotten addicted to the tones, because it relaxes them and it gets them into that emotional. Because I was brought up not to feel, so I'm on the opposite of what you were. You know, you feel too much. I was brought up not to feel, and I've had to come. And a lot of times I've been a male warrior, so I'm kind of like the opposite of you, where many lifetimes very strong. That channel riding the white eagle, the chief of 912 chiefs, and then I got another gray eagle, little gray cloud. That was another channel drawing that I have, and so it's getting back into that feminine energy, emotional. But the tones are a lot of times the guides are coming through with the frequencies, and they're breaking down those blocks of energies, and you're feeling stuff you don't know and releasing stuff. So it's just a suggestion if you want to do that, or I could, you know, you and I could Skype and I could work on
sounds like a date. It
Stop.
sounds like a date coming on.
That's it. Michelle's always playing matchmaker over here.
A week ago, we started preparing.
I'm talking about my tones, you guys.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know about your tones there, Mark.
We literally only have like 13 minutes left to this show, people.
I know. But a week ago, we started preparing for Michael's show. And as soon as I even just so much as saw what the show was going to be about, and we started looking into this information.
Susan, I can hardly understand you.
Oh, it's me,
That's
Michelle.
because
me.
Michelle's talking. All right, listen, we got about 13 minutes left to this show, and we still have like tons of information we haven't even touched on right here.
I'm putting the link to the book on Amazon, by the way. Available all Amazon. It's going to be able to be reached by the link I'm going to be putting on in our chat room. And you can find Michael's book, Mastering the Human Experience, Your Soul's Journey on Earth, on Amazon. And the links will all be there. So you can just go right to Awakening the Unknown's chat room, available with this tonight's show. And you can click right on that link.
Yes, you can. All the links are actually all there for his YouTube page as well.
Absolutamente.
We've got everything up there, so you can just click on it. Now, you also do run workshops, and that's something we're trying to get you down here in order to run a workshop. So, but we're definitely going to touch base on that. I want to take a. Go ahead, honey.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You first.
My forte is doing the deep inner breakthrough work. So, in other words, if someone has been to lots of healers, lots of therapists, lots of counselors, and you're still struggling, my forte is I'm the breakthrough expert. And I do coaching. I work with entrepreneurs and business people. I've actually worked with some of the richest people on the planet. I actually spoken to the Tony Robbins group a half a dozen times. And I would love if there's any people in the radio audience that are entrepreneurs and want to take their business to the next level. I've got extensive business background also, so I have the right brain and the left brain. And the other thing that is my passion, although I do private sessions on Skype all over the world, the other specialty that I have is doing small group workshops of about 16 people, 18 people, where all we do is get together for 2 days, sit in a room, and all I keep saying is, who wants to work? And just whatever comes up, and I use it as a teaching tool to help everyone in the workshop. And I also, at the end of the workshop, do a fire walk, except it's not on real fire. It's on 2 pieces of tape on the ground. But I've had people that ran the Tony Robbins operation out of Denver, Colorado, say, Michael, when you do the fire walk, you can't fake it. And it's a lot harder doing it because I can see and track the person's thoughts, their feelings, their energy, and tell them exactly where their blockages are and how to release it so they can be more happy, successful, find love in their life, etc. So, and the other thing I'll share with the audience is I'm writing a book about intuition right now. And if you would like to be part of the core group that's helping me write that book and reading it over and giving me feedback, again, give me a drop me an email, and I'll put together a core group, a study group, and that is actually for free.
Wow.
So that's a pretty good price.
I'm in.
for
I'm in. Put me in. I'm
core group.
in.
Sorry, I want to be in that one.
So,
I'm a professional guinea pig.
so there's a lot. My work isn't for everybody, but if you're really, really committed and you're really, really ready, I would love to help you. And I just want to thank, Susan and Michelle and Marcy for being on this show and for the opportunity to talk with you guys.
Oh, thank you
you.
so
I
much.
know.
Now, as far
for some
as
reason, all
one
this
second,
black
honey.
energy is
One
coming out of
second,
my
honey.
right eye.
Marcy, one
So-
second, honey. 1 second. All right. Now, as far as in the chat rooms, everybody knows how to get a hold of you, but why don't you tell the listening audience again the best way to get a hold of you, especially if there is a business or individual consult or a group consult that they're interested in finding you for.
Okay. My email is Michael, Michael, at Michael Bradford, BRADFORD.com. My phone number is 760-844-2778. My Skype is Michael.Bradford.Global, no spaces. And I'm in Virginia Beach, Virginia right now. And that doesn't mean I'll be here in a couple of months. It might mean that Spirit's going to take me somewhere else. And the other thing is Spirit's used me as Johnny Appleseed. That should give a lot of people information. I go places, plant seeds, and help to open up energy portals, etc. If you're interested in working with me on a private session, mentoring, coaching, if you're interested in helping to organize a workshop in your area, especially if you're a chiropractor, medical practitioner, or a health practitioner, it's a natural. They wind up getting tons more business than I do because after they make a breakthrough, they need to help have the energy integrated.
Right.
So I've worked through chiropractic clinics, medical clinics. Any question you have, please feel free to give me a call or send me an email, and I'll do my best to answer it. And, this is the other thing that's coming through is please remember, this is a journey. It's not a destination. The journey is never ending. God,
Exactly.
Spirit, all that is, loves you, honors you, respects you. There are no losers. There's only winners.
Wow.
And I'm getting tears in my eyes.
That I am
It's like
too.
all this love, compassion, all this love and compassion and kindness, this energy is just coming through. And I just want to bless the whole, ask God's Spirit to bless the entire listening audience and all of us that are taking part of it. And I want to also thank the people that had the courage to call in and ask a question online, because that takes tremendous courage.
Yes.
Yes,
If you're
it
on
does.
the planet, all I have to say is, God bless you and keep breathing. That's the most important thing. And there's a lot of other beings I feel like that have joined us that are not in body, but they're in spirit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And I'm
absolutely.
getting a definite yes on that one. So again, thank you for having me on the show, and if there's anything I can do to help or support, just give me a yell, and I'd love to come up there and do a workshop. And I do workshops on personal breakthrough to total freedom, and I'm also going to start doing workshops on intuition training to help you to get in touch with your intuition. So again, feel free to call me. Thank
I'm
you.
over here like I'm all snuffly from tears and everything in my eyes. I'm like, oh, I can't believe this. But also, Michael offers a free copy of his new book. You can contact him for his new book. It is available also on Amazon. It's called Your Soul's Journey on Earth, Mastering the Human Experience. please get a hold of Michael. He is offering also free 20-minute consultations.
Yeah.
He is out there to help the absolute interdimensional universes.
Yep.
And that is a huge, huge thing. Marcy, I can't thank you enough for coming on tonight. You are always our blessing. Always, always,
I love
always.
you all, and love coming on, and I'm glad I'm back doing this for because the guy with the muscular dystrophy that I had blocked that I wasn't able to come on the show.
Right.
And the universe told me, they were like, you're not going to be with them very much longer, and I'm like, I want to be back and useful on the radio show.
Again, Michael.
I know, with his journey with the 5 to 9, whatever it was, I don't know why I was with him for that little short period, but I'm glad I'm back here again.
Oh, I'm glad. We are so happy.
Yeah,
you are,
we're
too.
definitely glad you're back.
Yeah,
but
Michael,
Michael,
I do home health, and we couldn't talk on the. I couldn't be on the radio because I was taking care of a client with muscular dystrophy.
Right.
Yeah.
Feeding them, transferring them.
All right, I do want to say thank you very much.
And so the universe said no more.
Marcy and Michael, though, I think you guys honestly should go along with that little Skype date.
Oh my goodness! All right, but I want to say again, I want to say thank you, Michael. I actually, it was just strange how I run into different people, and I just trust basically the universe to throw at me the information that I'm meant to get out there. And again, I want to thank you so much, and I want to thank you for writing that book, and I'm looking forward to the next one. I really am. I really do enjoy the way that you write. I love the way that it's personable, and as far as an empath, I love the way that I can actually feel what you're writing, and that's a rarity. And that's something that I want to mention out there as well.
Yes.
And again, I want to thank you so much for being a guest on our show.
We hope to keep working with you, Michael,
Well,
honestly.
I just want to say one other thing. On Amazon, if you look for the book and you find it great, if not, my name on the book on Amazon is Michael Edward Bradford, because there were so many Michael Bradfords, I figured I'd put my middle name in there so you could find the book easier. So it's under Michael Edward Bradford, Mastering the Human Experience, Your Soul's Journey on Earth. And again, thank you.
Oh, thank you
Thank
so
you so much.
Michael.
Hey, Marcy, by the way, remember, he's very handsome. He's very, very handsome.
Marcy, what?
Marcy's very handsome. He's handsome. He's lonely.
No, he's
You guys got a Skype. Michael, Marcy is a wonderful person. I'm telling you.
All right, stop
You guys
playing
are-
matchmaker. We got to close
I've been
off
feeling
the
this
show.
love thing going on since last week. I'm telling you. What's that song?
All right,
Let's
don't
Get It
forget,
On.
everybody out there, we got about 1 minute left. I want to remind everybody.
I like those little ladies in the chair.
I want to remind everybody out there, don't forget to stay tuned to the Rift Network. 7 days a week. I was going to say 8. I'm putting an extra
An
day
extra
in.
day? We
Yeah,
got an
I know.
extra day now.
All right, and I truly do believe that we at the Rift Network are a soul group.
Absolutely.
I found that out by reading. Get a
Yeah.
copy
90
of this
seconds.
book. We got about 90 seconds left. I want to thank Marcy for being our guest co-host again. I mean, she is definitely a trooper, and I love the fact
So
that
happy.
she shares her wisdom with
too,
us,
Rose.
and the fact that she's actually become a good friend of ours as well. And remember,
Our soul journey.
Yes.
That's
and
right.
And by the way, I'm barefoot, Marcy.
yeah, we're both
We're
barefoot.
both barefoot. You know, you're only barefoot at the beach. You know
All
what I
right.
mean?
We got 90 seconds here.
Thank you so much, everyone.
60 seconds. And
Ride the
again,
You can also find me on Facebook under Marcy Clausage, or also LinkedIn if you guys want to connect. Also,
We got all of your links too. We're gonna put that on our page.
Cosmos on my YouTube with my tones.
Absolutely.
Yep, don't
Gotta
forget.
get a hold of Marcy, everyone. Please do. And thank you all for writing the
hey,
Rift.
remember, peace out. We love you, people. Ride the waves of the Rift.
Woo, see you all
next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I wonder why it's an